Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Gaming with My Dart Swinger. In this episode, we return to World of Tanks where I'm driving my newly acquired Tier 7 American light tank, the M41 Walker Bulldog. I'm usually not much of a light tank driver, but I had a lot of fun in this fight and I had to share it. I'm on the new Beaches of Normandy based map, Overlord, in a Tier 8 fight in which XVM has given us a 40% chance to win. Since I mentioned it, a quick note on XVM. It displays a player's average statistics over the majority of games that they have played, then calculates a chance to win based on the average rating of each player on both teams. Players can and do play above or below their average, which can change the outcome of the battle. I've spawned on the north side of the map, and I decide to go east and go out into the field and spot the ridgelines. On my Bulldog, I've opted to take the autoloader, which takes about 33 seconds or so to reload. Because of that, until I'm reloaded I have to keep my eye out for an escape route just in case I run into an enemy light tank, since I won't be able to defend myself. While so far with the Bulldog, I haven't had a whole lot of success, but I am starting to find it a joy to play. One thing that helped me out with this battle is that shortly before I started it, I watched Sir Havoc's video on active scouting. If you haven't checked him out, I recommend you do. Now that I'm almost loaded, I've spotted the AMX ELC Biz, formerly the ELC AMX. Knowing that the AMX does not have a turret, or at least much of a turret, I go for the circle strafe. So I use the auto lock feature and start pumping rounds into him. And I'm able to take him down. Even though I've been spotted, I decide to poke the ridge line just so I can see if I can get a couple spots. In making that poke, I spot a KV-85 and an IS-6. I don't want to hang around there too long though, because I've likely been spotted. So I back off and wait to drop off the enemy's radar. Once I've dropped off the radar, I go to another area of the hill and poke to see if I can see anything. Don't spot anything new, so I back off and poke again. This time I spot the T-32 and the Super Pershing. Again, I don't want to hang around there very long, so I back off. I notice that Super Pershing is getting a little bit too close for comfort as well, so I shift my position. While shifting, I'm looking for other places that I can poke. Unfortunately, what I didn't notice at the time was that everybody on the enemy team except for Artie has been spotted. Looking at the minimap, and also the tanks that I can see, it looks like the enemy T-32 is awfully alone. It's time for me to go do something about that. I decide it's time to go in and put some harassment fire on the T-32. Unfortunately, he's got some pretty thick armor, so I don't manage to get many shots through. As a matter of fact, I only managed to get one through his armor. After I get the first couple of shots into him, he starts turning his turret. That's not a good sign for me. So that's my cue to get the hell out of there to try to avoid any shots. Unfortunately, right as I'm digging down the ridgeline, he puts one into me. Fortunately though, that's still not quite half my health, and I'm still pretty good to go. I'm reloading anyway, so I pull back and start looking for my next move. Again, I see another tank that looks awfully alone. This time, it's the Super Pershing. So again, I make my way towards the solo tank. Fortunately, he doesn't see what I'm doing until it's a little bit too late, so I auto-lock on him, and I start pumping rounds into him. I know his armor's a little bit thick, and I'm going to have a hard time penetrating, particularly from the front. The circle strafing tends to work pretty well for that though. A couple times around him, and I managed to finish him off. I've still got a couple of rounds left in my clip, so I look around for another target. And I see that the T-32 is still there, and this time he is definitely all alone. So I make my way towards him, try to get my shots on him, but unfortunately by the time I fire, somebody else has taken him out. Now that I've only got one shell left in my clip, I decide to go ahead and go for the reload and start my hunt for Artie. At this point, I also notice that the base is under attack. Well, at least under the threat of attack. But since at this point it's only a threat of attack, I decide to go ahead and start my Artie hunt. Another reason I decide to go ahead and start my Artie hunt is I know that the Bulldog is pretty quick and should be able to make it back should the enemy decide to go ahead and make it to the cap. During my Artie hunt, I only found just the one Artie, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get any shots into it because our friendly Artie took him out for me. At this point, it looks like our last line of defense had fallen, so I decided to go ahead and head back towards the base. Fortunately, we do have a couple of heavies that have also decided to do the same. While I was looking around at the battle situation, I didn't quite notice that building there. At the same time though, I also thought, hey, that's a wooden building, so it should be able to be knocked down just like any other wooden building in World of Tanks. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Another thing I didn't notice at this point was that our team had already started capturing the enemy base. Even if I had noticed, it still would have been a good idea for me to continue on to our base to defend it just in case the enemy does decide to capture it. But fortunately for the team, and unfortunately for me, it was all for naught, as our friendly tanks managed to capture the base and win us the game. Now, let's go take a look at the post-game stats. That battle earned me a second class mastery badge, a fire for effect, a sharpshooter, a spotter, and a bruiser, as well as 33,000 credits and 2,700 doubled experience. As for my performance in comparison to the rest of the team, I earned 902 base experience, putting me in first place, 1,372 damage, putting me in about 5th place, and 2 kills, putting me in 2nd place by kills. During the course of the battle, I fired 19 shots, 16 of which hit, and 10 pinned, giving me a total of 1,372 damage. I took only 1 shot, which took about 300 something hit points of damage off of me. I spotted 5 vehicles, damaged 3, destroyed 2, and caused about 1,000 assistance damage. Overall, not a bad result, and I'm very happy with it. Don't forget, if you guys like this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching.